Sherese was standing there waiting to see what was going to happen with Swaazy and Kadian to see if Swaazy was going to become available. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Y'all already know here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all already know it's Friday night. We are talking Owns Ready to Love. Of course, this is season 6, episode 12, the finale. Finally, y'all, we getting to the end of this Miami season. I know we was all tired, okay? We ready for this reunion. We ready to see who really ready for love. But let me tell y'all something. This finale don't tell you who's ready for love. The reunion tell you who's really ready for love, okay? Who's really bad about it and who over here playing, okay? So before we get into anything, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you are enjoying this video. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's episode and what you think of the Miami season so far. Also, don't forget to share, and also please do hit that subscribe. That is like doing me the biggest favor in the world. Once you subscribe, let me know down in the comments, and I'll definitely write you back. Thank you to all my new subscribers, all the new people who have been engaging and commenting on the videos. You are much appreciated and much loved over here. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. I mean, the episode was cool, right? So let's see. We opened up where everyone's meeting up for like a final get together. Y'all know how they do. So Kayla comes in and Randall's pouring her, I guess it's a little mimosa or something, y'all. Anyway, then Kayla sat down and she thought Randall was gonna sit next to her, but he didn't. Randall and Mike both did not sit next to Kayla. They sat together. Then we see the ladies come through. I know Sherese was sitting down already at the table with the fellas, and I was like, wait, pan the camera back. Is that Sherese? Is Sherese sitting down with them? I was like, why is Sherese there? I thought she told Samson he wasn't ready for love, and he told her back. Why is Sherese there? I was so confused. I was like, is that her? So then Jamala came through. She said hi. Her and Randall had already greeted each other at the little food table, but then she came around and greeted him with a kiss and hugged everybody around the table. And then Brandy came through and hugged everybody around the table and greeted Mike with a kiss. I feel like that was all edited and chopped up weirdly. Ready to love people. Y'all do got a little way with y'all editing. So then Kayla was saying her confessional like, oh, it's just so funny how both Randall and Mike didn't even sit with their connections. Neither one of them came to sit with me. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, like, girl, you know they wasn't going to come sit with you. So then Kadian came in her blue dress. Swaazy came. And whoever else needed to come came through. So, Katie and I think sat down at the table with the other ladies, and her and Swaazy get to fussing. She get to Swaazy fussing at Swaazy about something. He at the table with the men. He's like, what? And Randall thought she was talking to him, so he responded, and she's like, sorry, Randall, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to him. So then they fussing and fighting. Everybody like, what is going on? Randall told Swaazy, like, sometimes you just gotta, be quiet and take the L, man. He was like, she just wanna fuss and fight all the time. Like, that's how she is. The girls are telling Katie, and they're like, girl, breathe, girl, breathe. She's like, I am breathing. I was like, ooh, child, they fight like an old married couple. So then they both talking about in their confessionals how they're at another bad place. They can't get on track. Swaazy tired of the fussing, the fighting, and arguing. Katie is like, Swaazy, when she had to talk with him, like nephew Tommy said to have, he blew it up all out of proportion, and he didn't feel like they needed to be talking about all of that. I can see both sides. Like, I feel like there's a way to have those conversations, make sure you guys do have a future. Although I think Kadian's techniques are totally off, as we've seen on the whole season. Also, there's a way to bring that up gradually. You don't just punch somebody with all that at one time. It's too much. And it is a little bit much. Y'all barely trying to figure out if y'all ready to love and be together. So let's slow it down. So anyway, then nephew Tommy come through, and then he gonna act all surprised. Sherese, where's Samson? So then she was like, oh, yeah, I met up with him last week, like you said, and gave him a chance to show me something different, but he did not. And so I did let him know he is not ready to love. And so nephew Tommy was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, you know. And he was like, so what does that mean for you? He was like, girl, what are you doing here? What's going on here? What's next for you? And I'm wondering the same thing, like, Sherese, what were you doing there? So then he was like, you want to come and say some words? Like, basically, he was about to dismiss her. So she went up there and said, you know, I tried in this process. She gave a little speech, y'all. You know, I tried to put my heart out there. You know, I didn't find what I was looking for here, but that means, you know, I'm really removing myself from the process, but I wish you all the best of luck. And my man wasn't here. And nephew Tommy was like, just because you didn't find love here, you don't mean you're not going to find it somewhere else. And so, you know, they're all like, you know, I wish you the best of luck and all that good stuff. And so Sherese is making her exit. So then she didn't leave. She stood off to the side somewhere. I'm thinking production told her to do this, right? So then Katie and nephew Tommy was like, basically like, I don't even know if he said anybody else got anything to say, but Katie was like, nephew Tommy, I got something to say. So then I was like, oh, Lord. So then Katie and Jeff right up there in that blue dress. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm kind of nervous. Every time I was like, everybody want to stay next to Tommy today. And so then everybody's like, what is going on? What's going on? Brandy in the confession was like, well, I'm about to get my popcorn because I know this is about to be good. And so then nephew Tommy's kind of like, what is going on today? So she was like, I think Swaazy needs to come up here with me. You could tell he was like, damn it. So then, like, he was not really trying to go up there. So everybody's like, what is happening here? And we all like, what the hell is happening here? So then she goes on to say, like, you know, I feel like with Swaazy, I try to have serious conversations with him. He takes things the wrong way. He goes off like this, and our communication is off. It's just not working. Swayze's like, really? That's how it is? Because you immature, and you just always want to be argumentative. I told you I don't like that. And he was like, I'm over it. I'm pretty much done. Tell me why y'all the camera pan of Sherese still standing up there. I said, Sherese, why are you still standing there? Sherese was standing there waiting to see what was going to happen with Swaazy and Kadian to see if Swaazy was going to become available. So anyway, Katie and Swaazy is fussing and fighting. Swaazy like, I don't want to do this. And nephew Tommy's like, hold on, like, come on, like, we got to get to some kind of resolution here. Like, you know, we got to figure everything out. And he's like, it just sounds like y'all communication styles is bad. And so Swayze's like, I don't even know, like, I'm not trying to do all that. Like, she not my wife, not my girlfriend. Like, she just my friend. Oh, he said she just a friend, y'all. So anyway, so next time he's like, well, before you get to, like, you know, wife and girlfriend, you got to figure all this stuff out anyway. And so Swayze's like, I don't want to figure it out. Ain't no resurrection, you know, ain't no resolution, not resurrection. Ain't no resolution for me. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not trying to fix it. I'm not trying to make it better. He done. So then nephew Tommy's like, okay, you don't want to move forward, fine. So then he gonna ask Katie and what she want to do, and Katie was like, really? That's not a question, like, right now, like, really? And I'm agreeing with Katie, and like, once Swayze said he ain't moving forward, like, what the hell Katie ain't about to do now? She about to go stand over there with Sherese and be eliminated also. So then she was over it, and so nephew Tommy was like, well, I'm sorry, you guys, you know, journey is going to end here. So you guys basically agreeing to both lead the process, and they agreed to both end their journey here. Everybody hugged it out. Sherese was still there. She hugged it out with the girls. Sherese, Swayze and Katie had even hugged it out. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? And so, you know, nephew Tommy wished them the best, and they went on. Now, my thing is, everybody's saying they're still together. They're together on social media. In the reunion preview, we see they're matching, and I heard they color coordinated for the union. So I'm like, what was that dramatic exit about? Like, what was it all about? Anyway, that was just crazy. So maybe they worked their issues out, y'all. I don't know. Goodbye, Swayze and Katie, and y'all was being toxic. So, and I did call their relationship from early on, but I didn't know I seen some toxicity coming, y'all, but I didn't know it was gonna get on this level of toxic. Like, they need to not. So nephew Tommy was like, well, the rest of y'all. Nephew Tommy was heck disappointed that it wasn't gonna be that many couples. You could tell. He's like, the rest of y'all took a leap in the journey of love, and we're gonna soon find out which, you know, couples are gonna make it to the end. Who's really ready for love. So Kayla says that, you know, it's only 2 men and 3 ladies. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So she's like, well, somebody gonna lead the process. Heartbroken. All right, so nephew Tommy had told the fellas that they're gonna introduce the women to their family members. So both fellas chose to introduce their female counterparts to their brother. So we have Mike and Greg, which is Mike's brother, meeting with Brandy first. And then we had Marcus, Randall's brother, meeting with Kayla first. So let's get to Brandy's date first. So Brandy comes and Greg asked her, what did you like about Mike? And so she was like, you see him, like, I was initially physically attracted to him. He looks really good. And so he's asking her about her dating and relationship past. Some of these questions the brothers asked, I don't know if production told them or if like Randall and Mike filled them in or what happened, but it was real like, let's talk about the issues on the show. So production probably filled them in though, so showed them some episodes. So he's Mike, like I said, Greg was asking Brandy, how's your dating history been, your relationship, has it been hard? And so she's like, yeah, it's really been hard for me. I've never been in love, I've never been in a relationship. He couldn't even take his drink good. He was like, you never been in love, you never been in a relationship. And she's like, yeah, I've been in situationships, I've never been in relationships. And so then he was like, why do you think that is? She was like, I don't really know. Like, they always tell me, it's them, not me. And he's like, well, do you think there's any issues with you? Like, are there any red flags like you or anything you think you need to work on in yourself? So I thought that was actually a really good question because I feel like we all can have something to work on ourselves. She couldn't think of nothing. She was like blank face. She's like, well, they always, it's always them and not me. So I don't feel like it's anything that I had to work on. And so it was like, okay. So on one hand, I'm like, girl, we all got stuff to work on. Like, you need to take a look inside yourself. I also feels like she needs to do that because why are you constantly in situationships and not relationships? Like, at the end of the day, we're got to look at you because you're the common denominator. However, I could give Brandy the benefit of the doubt that maybe she didn't want to give them something about her. Sometimes you don't want to tell too much because then people throw it back in your face. So I think she just didn't maybe want to give out all her cards. I would hope she knows what her strengths and her flaws are. I feel like you should always know your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Like, not just for like job interviews, but for anything in life, when dealing with in relationships, opposite sex, whatever, family, whatever. You should always know what your triggers are, what your weaknesses are. So anyway, but I'm just assuming she just didn't want to give him that. So she was like, you probably got me like, oh, this bitch up here lying. And so then they laughed and kind of moved on from the moment. And so he was asking her, how do you see your future with Mike or something like that? He worded it. She's like, yes, I do. Like, I want to get married. I want to have kids. And when I see this man, like, he has all the qualities I want. Like, I would never call the man a king, never called anyone a king before, but it's at the tip of my tongue to say, to call him a king. I'm like, ooh, girl, I guess. And so then Mike's like, you go and say it. She was like, you're my king. You go and say it. So she was touching his beard. Okay, Brady, like, if that's you, girl, hopefully it works out. I don't know. Hopefully it works out. So anyway, let's get over to Kayla's date with Randall and his brother Marcus. Now, Marcus, he kind of cute. Randall cute too, but Marcus is cute. Marcus is giving the D-boy version of Randall, like the bad boy hood version of Randall. And Marcus was older, but to me, they don't, I wonder how many, years they have between them, because it looked like Randall could be older, really. Not that Randall don't, looks older or nothing, but I was just surprised. Marcus looked like he could be the younger brother, especially the way he carried himself. So anyway, Kayla comes through in that tangerine dream outfit. She looked cute. So then, they had Kayla sit between them. Marcus like, yeah, sit next to me. So then Kayla's like, oh, Lord. So Marcus was asking Kayla how's everything been going with Randall. He knows they've been hanging out a little minute here. She's like, oh yeah, it's been cool, but I didn't expect, so much of my emotions to get involved. It's definitely been tough. Like, there's been times where I was mad at him. He was like, what did you do? And so she was saying that, he started putting way more effort and energy and a lot more time into his other connection. And so Marx is basically saying, like, well, if that was your connection, like, why didn't you Marco's spot and, you know, make it known. And so she was like, well, initially it was my spot. Like, it was my initial connection to begin with. But then he said, then I started having another connection because he started having another connection. And so I'd never removed from the spot. He moved on to another spot. And so the brother's like, oh, you didn't say, like, you had another connection. My thing with Kayla is, yes, granted, we did see Kayla and Randall connect very early on. I think they connected at the pool party, if I'm not mistaken, and at the brunch. They were one of the first dates of the whole season. However, we saw at the very, very first episode pool party, he always had his eye on Jamala. Like, yeah, he would talk to other ladies, but he always had his eye on Jamala, number one. So I could get what Kayla's saying, but we saw him go after Jamala the most. So anyway, she was saying, like, you know, I guess me, you know, sparking up another connection with somebody else wasn't the thing to do. And then he was like, well, we talked about it, right? And you already know how I felt. And so, and she's like, yeah, you said you were fine with it. And then Marcus like, well, he a man. Like, you know, he ain't gonna be fine with that. And so then, next thing you know, Randall and Kayla get to kind of going back and forth a little bit, and the brother's like, whoa. So then Kayla put her arm on Randall, was like, well, you know, if he would, you know, come forth and how he's feeling and all this stuff. And the brother asked, well, how do you feel about him? Is this somebody you want to be with? And she was like, well, the thing is, like, I know I like him and I want to be with him, but I don't know what he's going to do. He never makes a decision. Like, we always meet up and we have these talks, and I ask him, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And he never makes a decision. Randall's like, that's not answering how you feel, though. And so he's like, look at me. He grabbing her face and everything. He's like, if you deciding what you feel about me has to do with what I decide to do and all this stuff. And the brother's kind of looking like, okay. So then that was pretty much at the end of the day. And so Marcus said he likes Kayla, and Randall's like, I'm gonna need you to let me know once you meet Jamala. You could tell Randall likes Jamala more, and you could tell Jamala and Randall have spent way more time off camera than we will ever know. I feel like they'd already had sex, if you ask me. So anyway, Greg liked Brandy as well, and he seems, you know, he said, you know, it was a little hesitant that she never been in a relationship, never been in love, and she couldn't really name something wrong with herself, but, you know, she seems cool person, good person. So anyway, then we get a date with Marcus again and Randall meeting Jamala. She looked good in that yellow. She was popping. And then we also had Mike and Kayla and Greg. Okay, so let's do the Jamala date. So Jamala come. She like, hey family. She's like, oh, look at y'all. Y'all looking cute. Y'all twins. Now you clearly tell these Negroes is not twins, girl. But I get what you saying. I'm like, Jamala, you take Randall. I'll take Marcus, girl. We can hit the town. So anyway, they tall self. So, you know, she starts saying, you know, oh, I heard a lot about you and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, I hope it's good stuff. And she was like, would you care to share anything you heard? And so he was like, well, you know, I really want to be talking like that. I was like, why did he say that? So then she's like, that sounds about right. Like, that sounds like just like Randall. And he was like, yeah, that's about right. So then he asked her questions about insecurities. Oh, like production told them what to ask. So he was like, you know, how do you deal with insecurities and, you know, this process and everything going on? And she was like, well, like insecure would be me feeling threatened about the other person when it comes to him, and I don't feel threatened by another person. But she's like, but if I see somebody touching and hugging up on my man, then I'm gonna feel some type of way, especially that if I'm emotionally tied to this person. That's why I say I know they didn't have sex, y'all. And so she said, you know, then I'm gonna be, you know, my spidey sense coming on. She said, I don't even got to be in the room with you. My spidey sense coming on. I said, ooh, but they've been saying about Jamala been a little bit right. Jamala don't play by her man. Don't mess with her man, okay? So she was going off about that. And so then he was asking her, you know, different questions, y'all, about like, can she see herself with him? Can she see something long-term with him? And she gave really good answers. And she said, yes, she wants to be with him. She wants to build something with him, make it work, all that good stuff. And so he was like, you know, I really like this conversation. I really like where it's going and all that good stuff. So then Jamala left. And so Marcus said, hands down, Jamala. He said, Kayla, no. He's like, nope, it's Jamala. He was like, the other one, nah, I don't see it. He was like, it's Jamala, hands down. So then Randall's like, oh, dang, like he still likes Kayla, but his brother picked Jamala. Okay. I think, yes, we see more of a vibe between Jamala and Randall. Like, you could tell they have more time and energy vested in each other. Also, I think they're going by looks a little bit. And I don't mean no shade to either of the ladies. Like, both ladies are beautiful. Kayla's beautiful. Jamala's beautiful. But I think in terms of looks, Randall and Marcus both feel that Jamala is the badder chick, for lack of better words, the prettier girl over the two. They're more of what they would prefer to go after. So I think that's where they're going for as far as looks. In my opinion, not to discredit both the ladies' looks. All the ladies this season were gorgeous. So anyway, let's go over across the town to Greg and Greg and Kayla and Mike. So they meet up. So Mike is telling Greg, like, this girl, I don't know if I'm good enough for her. Like, she come from wealth and she got money, she got all this, and, I don't know if I'm gonna be good enough for her. Let's order some Pinot Grigio, because that's what she liked to drink. And so they're all like, oh yeah, she bougie. I'm like, really? She is not that bougie. So Kayla comes, she's like, oh, this Pinot Grigio, huh? And they were like, yeah. So then, Greg is asking Kayla about herself, and she's saying, she grew up in Georgia. I don't know if she said Atlanta or Savannah or where, but she said she was a debutante. She was in Jack and Jill, all that good stuff. I did not know that about Kayla. Okay. And so she was saying, that's pretty much her. She's into different things. And so he was asking, what do you feel that you could add to Mike that he doesn't already have? She's like, I'm always telling him, like, I feel like he could be so much better than what already has going on. Basically, not like he's not doing good, but she wants to see him kind of build more, do more, take things to the next level. I believe he has his own business, right? So she's like, I'm always like telling him she sees, so much more for him, so much potential in him. And she was like, me, I'm all about building a family legacy. I want a family crest, and I want to put it in the foyer. And then she said something about a bougereau with a filet mignon. She got more bougier than me, y'all. Now, everybody in my family and friends say I'm bougie. They also call me bougietto, say I'm bougie and a little bit ghetto. But she started telling words I didn't even know, y'all. So with the bougereau and all that, I almost Googled it. So anyway, they was like, oh, okay, look at her. He just like, okay, you sharp. You sharp. They was like, oh, you little bougie. And they was like laughing and teasing her and stuff. And then they were like, the foyer, like, she's like, my mom was a real estate, broker for 25 years. Like, that's the proper term for it. Now, I know what a foyer is. Okay, we had one of those in our house, too. I don't got one now because I live in an apartment. But anyway, so Greg liked Kayla as well. He's like, it's a tough decision. I liked her just as much as I like Brandy. So I don't know. Mike's like, I don't know what decision I'm going to make. So then Randall goes on another date with Kayla, and at this point, I'm tired of Randall going on a date with Kayla towards the end of every episode to give her no information. But he gave her some info this time, y'all. So they go in there to have dinner, and so Kayla asked, how was it? What did your brother say? What's up? She's like, let's get straight to it. So then he was like, yeah, he liked you, but he was like, she's like, okay, what did he say? And so he was like, nah, he likes, Jamala more. He said he feels like you're more about yourself. And so they had got their food, right? So then she's like, oh, does he? So you could hear her cutting and slicing that food like, oh, I bet he. And then she started talking in a sarcastic voice, and she was like, oh, I bet he does like her more. What does he like about her? And so then she like took a napkin and threw it on Randall, and then she was trying to eat his food. Then she drops her fork on the floor. You could tell she was flustered or embarrassed or something. And so then Randall was just kind of sitting there looking like irritated. He looked irritated as hell to me, y'all. What do y'all think Randall was thinking in that day with Kayla? So then she's like, I can't even eat right now. It's just so much. And it was just awkward silence most of the day. Y'all, that was the most awkwardest date ever, the most awkwardest date ever. So then she dropped her fork, he picked it up. She's like, I can't even eat because it's just so stressful. And then she was like, well, what do you think? What is your decision? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, he was like, yeah, it's hard. She's like, well, you can't keep like saying it's hard and stuff. Like, you got to make a decision. We're at the crossroads. Like, Randall, what are you gonna do? So then he basically blurted out, y'all. He was like, I'm not picking you. Like, soon as she was like, what are you gonna do, Randall? He was like, I'm not picking you. Like, he blurted it out. I felt bad because his delivery was horrible, but I think for Randall, you could tell he has a hard time articulating his feelings, and he didn't want to let any of the women down. And I think that was the best way he could say it. That, like, he had no other way to say it but blurting it out for him, and that's what it was. You could tell Kayla wanted to cry. I felt bad for her. So she was like, oh, finally, like, he's like, I'm sorry, like, to say it like that, but that's what it is. She's like, no, like, that's what I've been wanting to hear this whole time, like, what your decision is. And she's like, ultimately, like, I want you to do what's best for you. Like, whatever's going to make you happy, that's what matters. And she was like, but yeah, it sucks. And so he's like, yeah, we ready to go. They left their food on the table, y'all. I was like, not y'all leaving food on the table? Sure. Because y'all, Kayla, I thought you liked to eat. Sam said he ate his food last week when he got sent home. He didn't leave the table. So anyway, they left the table. Kayla ain't in the running for Randall no more. So then, nephew Tommy does a little montage saying all the couples came. We're going to decide who's ready for love, who's not. So somehow they found another bridge. Looked like the one they had in DC. But anyway, it was in Miami. Randall cleaned up very nice. Randall was looking good on that bridge, okay? He cleaned up very well, okay? No shorts, no hoochie daddy shorts for him. So he came to the bridge. Jamala came to the bridge looking gorgeous in that teal. So he said, we've been through this process, from the jump. Like, it was always been me and you. Yeah, I had other connections. You had to watch me date other people. I'm sure that was hard for you. But you were always number one. They never held the same place as you. We knew that. He was like, I like that you were always by my side in this process. We always held each other down, and, I want to choose you. And so then she was like, I can't follow that, rah. And she gave her little speech, and ultimately they chose each other. She gave her some flowers. They ready to love. Then we get to the beach. Now, I didn't like Brandy and Mike's scene because why are we at the beach in this sand? Mike looked overdressed for the sand. Brandy looked appropriate for the beach, but underdressed to be meeting up with Mike. It was just a mess. So, but I mean, they look good, but I'm just saying this didn't match. Like, they should have been at the dock, not the beach. So, on the sand. So, Mike came looking clean in his blue and orange. And he came with a box of flowers. And he was like, it's a hard decision. So, of course, they had to make a build up because we like, oh, he's going to pick Brandy or Kayla. We knew he was picking Brandy. So then, he gave Brandy his little speech about, through this process, he dated other women, and he told her, you look beautiful, Brandy. There's no reason why you shouldn't have been in a relationship, but all that doesn't matter now. Like, open the black box, pull out the drawer, and get the answers. Either going to be a yes, a no, or maybe I pick myself. I'm like, why are we doing all this? Just say, I want to pick you. Like, oh, he was doing too much. At least Clifton did a little third grade no, yes, no, maybe so. Do you like me? I was like, I don't want to pull out the box in the drawer, Negro. So anyway, nevertheless, of course, she pulled out the drawer, lit the flowers. It was a yes. Actually, it was chocolate covered strawberries, and it said, say yes or I pick you, whatever it said, y'all. It's a yes. That's what it said. So then Brandy gave her little speech about, the process. And she's like, from day one, I made it clear that I, made my territory when I sat on your lap and I picked you. And she's like, yes, I pick you back. And so then they did the theme song, y'all, great song. I'm not going to sing it on here for y'all. But y'all didn't get the theme song to Randall and Jamala, or did they? I don't remember hearing the theme song with them. So anyway, that was pretty much it, y'all. To me, they dragged the episode on, but Kayla, she didn't walk away with nobody, but that's okay. You know what? I'm gonna give Kayla the MVP award this season because she held in there. She fought for love. She got turned down so many times and rejected, but she kept coming through swinging. She did not give up on love, and that's what we like to see, girl. You are a hope and inspiration to us all. Anyway, Kayla, your man somewhere else, if he was not on the show, don't be tripping. Kadian and Swaazy, y'all know what the hell y'all doing. Sherese, good luck to you, girl. Samson, holla at your girl. Anyway, no, Samson gonna finish that steak. Let's call it a steak, Samson. When next time in Miami, let's have a steak, Samson. Anyway, I'm just fooling around, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we gonna talk again about Ready to Love when we get down to this reunion. It looked juicy. Y'all let me know about the couples, what y'all think, what y'all thought of the season so far. Let's talk the reunion next week, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.